What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka throw something at me, I'm a period with my knife, aka the bowl cut survivor. Oh man. AKA put some whipped cream on my arm hairs and rub it off. Oh man. Oh my god. Oh boy. I'm trying so hard. AKA the Komaki Tiger Dropper, aka the Nigga Lil Master, bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sights, episode 170. 170. The consistency is getting back to it. I'm at least sticking to the bi-weekly schedule, I believe. Pretty sure. Nonetheless, I'm here, so just speaking on this mic, Amazon, getting these thoughts out, all that good stuff. So, man, what has happened? Of course, there's a lot of various events. Twitter is somewhat fairly going into a spiral still, and that's just the whole thing. Not even going to talk about that. But, yeah, outside of that this week, a lot of good details. Mario tickets went on sale. Go get your tickets if you're a Mario fan. I don't know why came off so serious about that. I'm not. If you're not a fan of Mario, you don't have to go and watch it. I'm just saying, if you that type of person, you're very excited, ecstatic about Mario. Get your tickets. You're gonna have to wait. I guess you can technically. Movies, if you want to be the first to watch it, which I guess that's still a fairly small margin. So never mind what I said. If you're interested in Mario, just wait until April something 9th, I think 10th. I don't know. If you really care about Mario, you'll look it up. You'll look it up. I don't know how we got on Mario, but it's okay. But yeah, without further ado, I have a really good show for you this week. Let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion. I have to keep holding this mic because I just don't know of a solution. It's like the dynamics are like, I guess maybe there's like a elevation on this table technically that like this mic keeps falling towards me. At some point I'll hopefully figure it out, but nonetheless, we gonna keep it moving. Regardless. So actually today, Capcom had a showcase, had some really cool deets revealed. Nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, but some substantial stuff nonetheless. I believe the show started off, I think they had a little pre-show, just basically a little bit of talk here and there, where I guess they did confirm that no new games will be announced. So hey, keep your expectations in check, which is fair. I respect it. Then after they started it off, they started off with Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, some new features. Let's see. Oh, the game will include all 499 patch cards that were only originally available in Japan. I'm assuming, yeah, that was like, since this is a Game Boy, maybe it used the GBA card reader. I doubt it. I don't think it did, but nonetheless, hey, hardcore Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection fan, if you were worried about not getting all those 499 patch cards, boy, this is some news. This is some news for you. Also, Buster Max mode. Okay, makes the game easier by powering up Buster shots by 100. In addition to that, the final game will include our art gallery that includes over 1,000 illustrations. So there's that. And I think they also talked about Street Fighter 6. No new characters or anything necessarily, but they did talk about a new commentator, I guess, who the final commentator, which is Hikaru Takahashi, a Japanese actress apparently. She's joining a fleet of commentators for Street Fighter 6. Very curious to see how that's going to play out. But yeah, of course they wanted to knock it over your head, like, hey, you know, we got this tournament for $1 million, you know, for the winner. So this is we serious. We mean business. Which, hey, that ain't no kiddie money. That ain't no play money. That's for sure. So, but I digress. Also, excuse me. Exo Primal gets a release date. Well, the game that isn't Dino Crisis. I guess that's the formal name, but I always refer to it as the game that is not Dino Crisis. It did get, you know, a decent showing / trailers and stuff. I'm just not impressed. I'm really not. It's just the game that should have been Dino Crisis. That's the hill I'm still on with this game. But some pretty interesting news specifically is that it will launch day one on Xbox Game Pass. So for those that include myself that would not buy this initially, Game Pass, I would probably at least give it a try. So there is that, because yeah, otherwise I would not be giving this a try unless the price was very low. But so you got that survival pass, which is basically a battle pass. Ugh. That's not making things any better. Game that isn't Dino Crisis. It's not helping your favor. Pre-order bonuses, deluxe edition, and all that good stuff. I'm just this could have been Dino Crisis. It really could have, but it isn't. It's Exo Primal. Ugh. No thank you. We got to look at Ghost Trick Family Detective. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure this was announced earlier. I think on Nintendo's Direct. But now at least got a little bit more details in regards to it. Exact release date June 30th. Improved user interface, improved performance, newly arranged versions of the 37 music tracks. So you got that. You got the main character, who I always wonder what what that pose is. Like it was in the original Metal Gear Solid, you know, where they on the ground with their booty poked up. I feel like that's must be some iconic pose, because boy, he was working it. He was working it. That was like half of the half of the trailer was just a Ghost Trick Man in his I'm using that name because I don't know the character itself, but Ghost Trick guy with his booty popped up unconscious. Just something about that is always weird to me. I just feel like that insinuates stuff. Maybe that's just me, but I digress. Capcom is celebrating 40 years with a digital theme park, whatever that means. But basically, Capcom is coming on its 40-year anniversary. So it is having a digital theme park, Capcom Town. That's what it's called. Nobody knows what it really means, so I guess we'll find out closer to then, June 12th. There you go. Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC is coming to the new platforms that it did come out on previously, which was PlayStation, Xbox. PC already has it. Yeah, so I don't think Sunbreak already came out on PC, so I think specifically PlayStation, Xbox. So there's that. Yet again, no save transfer. Hopefully they rectify that when World 2 comes out at some point, or they announce that. And then probably the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, the cake and ice cream of everything, of this whole Capcom Showcase. Resident Evil 4. It seemed like it was leaked a little early, like last night, yesterday. But it was pretty much leaked on, I think, Twitch, ironically, that they leaked ads. Well, I guess they basically, somebody hit the switch when they weren't supposed to, or maybe there was a miscommunication and somebody got an ad for Resident Evil 4 stating that the demo is available now, essentially. So, oops. Yikes. Ooh. Somebody gonna hear the end of that. Somebody gonna hear the end of that. But nonetheless, we did get confirmation that there is a new demo that is available. Now I've yet to play it because I was, doing this show. Let me get out the way and all that stuff. But best believe, as soon as I hit unlive, immediately. But yes. Also, another very important substantial note is that the demo is no longer timed, doing that stupid arbitrary timed thing that they did with the previous demo. I think both Resident Evil 3, 2, and 3 remake, it was called the one-shot demo, where basically you were restricted to 30 minutes to play the game, and that's it. So pretty much once either you complete the demo before the 30 minutes, which ideally you wouldn't really do anyway, or if you don't get to the end of the game in 30 minutes, the game immediately ends. And hey, you want to pre-order that demo now? Hey, you already played 30 minutes, so I think you just gonna have to wait until the main game comes out. But don't you want to pre-order it right now? Just go ahead and pre-order it. Just hit that button, put in your credit card information, go ahead and buy it. You know you want to. So at least now, thankfully, no time limit. That was just the stupidest thing, because clearly people are just gonna work around it. Like, at least what I did, I just basically, of course, one of the advantages of having multiple platforms is just being able to play on the various platforms. So like, 30 minutes is done on that, let me go to another one, and on top of that, you can just make another account. It's just stupid. They might as well have did what they did now. So thanks for that. So yeah, definitely will provide details probably next time we meet in terms of my thoughts on that. Shoot, probably when I say that, the game will probably almost have been out by then, but nonetheless, hey, you're gonna get these details either way. They also talked about the upcoming CGI animated film Resident Evil Death Island with a little quick trailer, scheduled to release this summer. They did show that Jill Valentine is pretty substantial in this one. Also, her interacting with Leon and Chris. Well, I guess that's her and Chris are normal, but specifically Jill and Leon interacting with each other. We've technically never seen at all I don't think so. That's pretty dope. At least we get that in some way, shape, or form. So you got that. All in all, hey, pretty solid Capcom Showcase. Nothing too crazy. The biggest reveal was spoiled already the previous night with the demo. Even though it was like pretty much highly likely we are going to get a demo at this point. You know, if previous history told us so. But yeah, overall pretty solid. Can't wait to play that demo though. I know that much. Moving on. Elden Ring Expansion has been announced. Boy, that was like a week ago. That's crazy. Yeah, so finally got an announcement that Elden Ring is in fact getting DLC called Shadow of the Erd Tree, currently in development, at least by Twitter. Rise, Tarnish, let us walk a new path together. An upcoming expansion of Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands of between. So there you go. Pretty much no details at all necessarily, but hey, I mean, that's a big, regardless, in and of itself, that's a big announcement. Obviously going by previous From Software DLC, we can expect this to probably be pretty substantial, especially when you look at it in the grand scheme of the scale that is Elden Ring in of itself. So I think this definitely isn't going to be no petty chump change DLC. This is about to be the big daddy big bucks of DLC. The DLC of DLC, probably. I'm maybe hyping it up way more than I should, but you know what? It's mother Elden Ring. Come on now. Just saying. I think it's substantial, but I digress. I'm just curious where they could go. I'm more so thinking about all the just bullshit ways I'm gonna die. That's I think a fair amount of people are probably thinking that way too. But yeah, this definitely is gonna be great. Already know. Give me another excuse to hop back into Elden Ring. Yeah, I was like, I played like what? Definitely fully completed the whole one initial playthrough. I played a little bit of a new game plus playthrough, but that was about it. But yeah, 160 hours. It just is not. It's a commitment. But hey, this DLC, I'm ready to commit again. And that's the other thing I'm curious about, because I know with Elden Ring, when it comes to their DLCs, they seem to be very what's the word? Have some sort of barrier to entry where if you maybe skipped a certain part of the game, it won't actually you'll have to basically beat the game to get back to it to some extent. I mean, well, given the nature of this game where it is technically more free roaming than other ones, this should be okay, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it though. I'm very much looking forward to it. Oh, I'm ready. I'm motivated. I love it so much. Moving on. If you hear cars, hopefully you don't. Maybe you do. It's outside. Neighbors. Let's see. Counter-Strike 2. Let me say that again. Counter-Strike 2. Who would have thought? But apparently, word on the street is Counter-Strike 2 is real, and it's just around the corner. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. At least mainly from Gabe Follower, who I guess is apparently presumably some form of Valve insider. I've, at least for his quoting his tweet specifically, I've got fairly reliable information that Valve has been testing CSGO on Source 2 with the help of third-party QA companies in the US and EU since at least early December. I can't confirm this 100%, but it's decent enough to share. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, you got the latest release, Counter-Strike Go, which, oh man, goodness, technically released like 11 years ago, like in 2012, I want to say. Damn, yeah. So, safe to say, it might be, hey, it might be due for a new Counter-Strike Go. I guess what it's called is definitely probably the biggest debate. I don't know. Would you call it? Yeah, I would assume they call it Counter-Strike 2 because, porting a game on a wholly different engine, I think it would be means to at least call it something different than CSGO, unless maybe they do the route. Well, I don't think they've ever really do that because, you still have, Puritans that are even on Counter-Strike 1.6 still. That still live and die by that, even with, the latest and greatest CSGO being out. So definitely don't think they would alienate. I don't think they would definitely not alienate, existing fans of CSGO. But I think it definitely will be its own entity type thing. Because, you got Counter-Strike 1.6, Source, then CSGO, and then whatever this is, CSGO and Source 2. I don't know. CSGO off? I can't take credit for that. That was a joke on, I think I saw on Reset Era, but CSGO on. I don't know. CSO. There's potential. We'll see what happens, but apparently it's like within the next few months. Apparently it's a beta this month, so there's that. I don't know. I guess time will tell, but I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised by this. I'll say that. But as I guess kind of a retired Counter-Strike fan, I definitely dabble here and there. Sometimes I'll get the itch like, man, you know what? I feel like playing some Counter-Strike, and I'll get it in, but I'm not as big of a fan as I used to back in the day. Well, I've probably said this countless times, but initially playing Counter-Strike for a long period of time on the original Xbox, and that being one of my first online experiences ever, online gaming experiences ever, which blew my mind at the time. It definitely did. It was fun. It was good times. I'll meet some Counter-Strike. I definitely got an affinity to Counter-Strike. But I digress. Moving on. Let me move my timer because it is not very helpful to be looking all everywhere. So yes, damn it. What else? Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Actually, I think that's it. Yeah, that concludes all the news for this week. Let's talk about what I've been playing. which has been, of course, of course, with the hype that is Resident Evil 4, had to for one last time before my whole image, my whole perception of Resident Evil 4 is just potentially demolished. Had to get one good ass playthrough of Resident Evil 4, original Resident Evil 4 again on the Xbox series. And man, big shoes to fill, man. Resident Evil remake got some big shoes to fill. Just the pacing, just the moments of terror, just mainly the pacing. I think that's Resident Evil 4 has some of the best pacing I've definitely ever witnessed in a game, for sure. What is interesting, when I was replaying Resident Evil for the 110th time, was that I definitely, with having the Resident Evil 4 remake in mind, I definitely was looking at while I was playing the original Resident Evil 4, was looking at RE4 with a lot more scrutiny in terms of like flaws, things that the game could improve, and I think in turn speculating like what they are gonna do with the remake for certain moments and areas in the game, which was fascinating because it's like I never ever looked at Resident Evil with like that much scrutiny until now. We're getting the Resident Evil 4 remake very soon, so I found that very funny. What were some of the things that I started to like more or less criticize in my head? QTEs, I was more so in thinking in terms of like looking at the practicality of not involving QTEs and the reason as to why, like press X to not die or whatever. But I mean, that's something I still stand on, but I can be flexible in that respect. Like RE4 remake, it being confirmed that it won't have QTEs, isn't as not as much of a deal breaker as I at least initially thought. Even though they technically kind of got not in the intricate sense that they have QTEs, but like they do technically have them to a certain degree, so that kind of help appeases things a bit for me. So that technically isn't a deal breaker for me, but obviously I'll just have to get my hands on it when I do. I'm trying to think anything that like, definitely of course the village, not the village, but the island section towards the end. I think a lot of us fans agree that could definitely use improvement. Oh yeah, I forgot the very sexual harassment lines from Louis Serra. Like I think his character overall definitely could use some work, which of course they've shown that they are definitely doing in this remake, even also giving him a much bigger role, it seems like, given the certain areas he's at now that he wasn't for certain reasons, compared to the original. Probably the biggest thing, and I think you can solely blame Resident Evil remake because of it, is just weapon switching. I just realized and noticed like how kind of cumbersome it feels to have to go to your menu, swap a weapon, and then go get out of your menu and then continue combat. Yeah, just with having Resident Evil 4 remake in mind while playing this, that definitely started to, at least I started to have that thought for sure. Yeah, I was like, man, yeah, this would be more fun if, you didn't break the ebb and flow, if you will, with having to go back to the menu specifically to swap weapons. So that was probably the biggest one. Outside of that, everything just flowed well, and that's again, I think, a testament to Resident Evil 4, just how the greatness of that game is that, it's just it's damn near perfect. It's damn near perfect in my eyes. That's for sure. That's for sure. It really is. So, but yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Played on professional since I already originally beat it on normal. Like, you know what? Let's play it on professional. I forgot how challenging it is, and I also forgot. I could have swore this was different. I don't know. Maybe it's a difference from platform versions by chance, but I always thought that even in professional mode that you could still get the tactical vest, which you get very late in the game, but also helps basically mitigate damage you receive, and I guess kind of technically evens the field, or depending on who you ask, like, gives you an advantage when it comes to health. I believe it reduces damage. I think it's specifically physical damage, maybe bullets, ballistic damage, or whatever, by 30%, which is, pretty big. Cause like otherwise, boy, one hit, you need a red, green herb, first aid spray, gold chicken egg, any of that. So, I mean, obviously that's not a deal breaker, but yeah, no, as a whole, I really thoroughly enjoy Resident Evil 4. I don't know why in my head I always thought it was longer than it is, but then again, as somebody who's, played it countless times, almost annually, really, I think that's kind of expected, because I think, other playthroughs, I think I've probably had like 20 plus hours or something like that. So, definitely taking the scenic route. Also just trying to appreciate the game for what it is in terms of, one last time, what more so like, what is this going to look like in remake? What are they going to do about this in remake? I'm very curious about it, how that's going to go in remake. What's another one that I'm very curious about? I think mainly the whole island section, really. I would guess because that's the one section that they haven't really shown us. Understandably so. I am definitely on the boat where, like, okay, if you guys just don't give us any other trailers, that's fine. Let's just play the game at this point, because we clearly want to play it. I'm, of course, all for the playing this demo. Absolutely. So, but yeah, after I beat it, played separate ways. That was another question too. Like if we will get separate ways included to some extent in this game. I guess that's yet to be discovered or asked or answered. Yeah. And of course, after I beat it, I immediately wanted to replay now that I have got all the unlockables, like the Chicago typewriter. Well, I mainly mess with the PLR laser and the hand cannon. The hand cannon. Love that hand cannon. Sold all my weapons, put in all my money into the hand cannon, to get the unlock for it to be in infinite rounds, basically decimating by a shoot. Man, after probably playing remake, I might just be tempted to just mess around again. Damn, that's just still saying that, like, what, almost 20 years later. Man, that's just a testament to how great that game is. Love me some Resident Evil 4. Love me some Resident Evil 4. Yeah. Cannot wait for remake. I mean, I also had this in my head, like, I was like, maybe we did need a remake of RE4. Maybe we did. I don't, we'll see. We'll see if they complete, if I want to play this more. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. But overall, love me some Resident Evil 4. Consistent Resident Evil 4. Moving on. Last of Us Part 1. Of course, watching the Last of Us show, it just filled me with so much hype. I'm like, I gotta play this. And I played the original Last of Us on PS3 and then Last of Us Remastered on PS4. And then I got Last of Us Part 1 when it came out initially, but never got around to playing it. Some other games took priority over it, essentially. But I was going to play it at some point. But now was the perfect time, basically. So pretty much the season finale of the show is premiering this weekend. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go. Let me just try to beat this before the finale. Just also just kind of, I don't know, have that feeling of being in the zeitgeist, get my memory refreshed, and seeing also the notable changes of The Last of Us Part 1, compared to the remastered, even though that's hard to decipher. That's hard to decipher because it has been so long, I felt, since I played remaster, so now I don't remember what necessarily changed, even though they said they pretty much kept most of the stuff the same, like just a lot of the cutscenes and a couple additions from part 2 in terms of game mechanics they added. But have to check me a breakdown of what they did change. But overall, I mean, it looks gorgeous. Finally, HDR works great in this compared to remaster, where it was to me, it felt very broken, or I think you had to jump through a lot of hoops to work around it or whatever. So I'm for it, very much for it. I managed to beat it. I beat it last night, and it's still great. Last of Us is still great. And it was also very fun to kind of play, parallel to the TV show. Actually, seeing the TV show to kind of refresh my memory on a lot of events that happened, and then playing the game, and then comparing and contrasting like what they changed. Compared to that was pretty fun, actually, as somebody who hasn't played the part 1 in a while. So that was fun. And then, mentally having those checkpoints in my head in terms of the episodes. So like I clearly got to a point where, like, okay, this is episode 9. I was like, yeah, let's beat it at that point. So I was like, yep, beat it. Yeah, it was a good story. Just, it also makes me very curious how they're going to what they're gonna do for the finale. Are they gonna fully stick with the plot of the game, or are they gonna deviate? How are they gonna deviate? Are we gonna get a trailer? Then, but I digress, and I'll save some of that talk for the Last of Us show itself. But yeah, yes, I'm glad I did, and it also makes me want to play Last of Us Part 2 again. To be honest, I'm very tempted, which I assume that was their intent anyway. But I was also, a big motivator too was I was very curious if they were going to implement a thing into part 1 from part 2. I won't spoil what that is, but a certain story element, I'll leave it at that. If you know, essentially. But yeah, I was curious if they're going to do it, especially at the end, where, if you play part 2, you know what I mean. But they technically did it, which I was surprised. I thought maybe, because it's called part 1, that they would, obviously add that in. But I guess maybe it will probably take away from the story of part 2 the more I think about it. Yeah, I know I'm speaking in code, but just to be, obviously a lot of people are probably going to be inspired to play The Last of Us and stuff like that. I don't want to necessarily ruin that. So, yeah. I don't know. I wish there was just some more, I don't know, maybe subtle hints. I think there technically is. I think there's like a character in the game that, they aren't necessarily notable or like in your face, but I think if you look closely, you can pick up on it or something like that. I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm very curious now. I'm very curious. But nonetheless, also I did, in trying to keep the cadence with the TV show, I also slotted in Left Behind in between, canonically, where I guess that DLC is supposed to be. So basically, when Joel gets falls onto an object, and you gotta basically bring him to good health, essentially. That's pretty much where I started Left Behind. And after I did that, I went back to the main campaign, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, especially, of course, if you played it before. I guess they say you shouldn't play it if you never beat the main story, which I don't know. I guess I'm kind of on the fence about, because I'm like, as somebody who played multiple times, I don't necessarily see how it would take away from the main game necessarily. I guess because they reveal, I guess you can maybe, I guess it takes away from the David plot, technically. I think it takes away from the surprise of the David plot specifically. I think that's mainly why, because I think otherwise it's fine. Or I guess also at the end, that is when Ellie reveals that the person that she lost. So I guess in that respect, maybe that might be why. So yeah, but I think it would have been cool at least if you at least beat the game once and you're playing through it again, that they would, maybe pocket it in like, hey, you want to play Last of Us in between here, or even maybe integrate it more to some extent, since you technically play Ellie in the main campaign essentially too. But I don't know. Nonetheless, it was cool. I liked it. It flowed very well. It flowed surprisingly more well than what I thought it technically would for some reason. But I think it was technically cut. It clearly seems like it was meant to be implemented to some extent, but was cut for, probably reasons, or probably to be DLC. But it was cool either way. So Last was part 1. And outside of that, that's at least all I really been playing. Oh crap, you know what? Let's do an audible. Hold on. Do an audible. Also played Halo Infinite, the season 3 DLC, or new season, I guess. Season 3 of Halo 3, which added a fair amount of new content. 2 new arena maps. Oh fuck, I forgot them. I couldn't tell you them. Could not tell you them. Let me look them up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. So Oasis, no, that's the big team battle map, which I didn't play. Cliffhanger and Chasm are the new arena maps that I did play. Got a new shroud screen equipment. So basically playing it and mess with it a couple times. It is It's kind of like the bubble shield from Halo 3, but it obstructs your view. So, like, let's say somebody's like trying to snipe you, throw a shroud screen. Pretty much, you can't see anything that's inside the bubble from the outside. But if you're inside the bubble, you can see who's inside and all that stuff. So, probably a great supplement equipment for like shotgun, knife, hammer people. But it was cool. It was cool. It definitely, I think, helped out with like, you know, objective modes like what was it called? Territories. I think it's different now. I think land grab, I forgot, one of those. So that's cool. I think it's a worthy addition. And then you got the M392 Bandit, which is basically like the DMR from Halo Reach, except without the bloom. I guess that was a little weird, but I mean, it feels good to shoot for sure. Yeah, it felt good to shoot. So I mean, that's the biggest thing. But yeah, basically, just like it feels like a reskinned DMR essentially. So basically, you know, a marksman rifle, another marksman rifle for Halo, basically. I guess since clearly the DMR isn't in the game. So yeah, it felt good. It felt good. I feel like I could do some damage with it. I mean, I did some damage with it when I was playing. So, you know, you got that. Apparently there are 4 Forge maps that'll be in matchmaking: Archroom, Starboard, Perilous, and Salvation. Shouts out to the Forge map implementation that they did. I think this definitely helps them in regards to the lacking official map variety. I would definitely take this over, you know, only having like you know, smaller than usual amount of maps. So I'm all for that. Bravo 343. Oh, and they also implemented Escalation Slayer mode, which is basically gun game. Well, how do I describe it? It's basically a spin on gun game where each team, at least my interpretation of it, each team has, you know, goes up through the ranks of weapon tiers, I guess, where you get a primary and secondary weapon, and they're both roughly in the same, like, I think one for long range, one for short range. And you basically work up the ranks, and I think you have to get 5 kills. Your whole team has to get 5 kills to upgrade to the next tier, and then basically so on and so forth until you get to the top, and then get a kill with the oddball. So basically felt just like gun game to me personally. So yeah, overall it felt promising. And then there's a premium battle pass where at least the cool benefit is that it does help as a permanent XP boost. I assume and hope maybe not indefinitely until maybe their next season comes out, probably, where you're maybe forced to buy another one. But if you are trying to catch up on previous battle passes, it'll also help with that too, which is pretty dope. Which was the big thing for me. If, like, you know, if it's worthwhile getting, if it does do that, which it seems to do from what I was playing and testing. So yeah, man, probably maybe the only only person playing Halo Infinite, it feels like. But hey, I'm loving it. I'm loving the gameplay. It feels very good. The gunplay just feels really good. I'm digging it. So I'm definitely gonna play some more down the road for sure. But totally forgot I played that, and that's substantial because, you know, it's a fair amount of games, multiplayer games mainly, that I dabble with that is not worth mentioning again and again and again, so I don't necessarily bring them up. But I did forget I did play this, and it is very notable to bring up nonetheless. So with that being said, that concludes what I've been playing. I hope I'm not getting sick because that would suck. I'm just feeling it all of a sudden, and I'm scared. I'm scared. Not gonna lie to y'all. Getting what I've been watching, which has been The Last of Us. So not to retread what I was saying earlier, but yeah, man. Episode 9 basically talks about or covers the portion of the game when, you know, Ellie has to fend for Joel. I guess they touched on that on the previous episode, Left Behind, but on this episode, they, you know, went more into it and also, you know, introduced us to the TV version of David, who I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but David is a character that you'll find out that yeah, some things happen that it's something. I'll say that. But in terms of just the portrayal compared to the video game was very great translation to the TV series for sure. Loved it. I very much loved it. Yeah, it was good. They just hit a lot of the same points. You know, did stuff that made sense. And it also stars Troy Baker, who actually voices Joel, the main character in the video game. So that was a cool little nod. Of course, there's a lot of love for people that participated in the original game and stuff like that. Of course, you got, I think the woman who voiced Marlene is actually the same actress that that voiced her in the game, is actually portraying her in this show. Apparently Ellie, the voice of Ellie from the game, is, I think, apparently going to be the mother of Ellie, portrayed in the last episode finale. Oh yeah, the guy that voiced Joel's brother actually had a role in one of the previous episodes. He was like a member of a group that was opposed to Joel or something like that. So yeah, no, it's definitely love the love they're giving for a lot of the characters, or, you know, actors that were involved with the game. So it's probably the best, you know, showcase of, you know, love and respect to the series. And that's, again, what I love about this series of, you know, almost compared to any video game related title, which is that, you know, it shows respect and, you know, admiration, appreciation for the original source material, where, again, that's where a lot of other ones fall horribly on their face. Talking to you, Resident Evil on Netflix. Ugh. Yuck. Even the movies. Yeah, Resident Evil is just frustrating. It really is. But I'm not going to get on that pedestal today. So, yeah. It's great. It's great, and it's coming to an end this weekend. So, yeah, that's definitely why I was like, let me get this in, play it before, have it fresh in my head, before the finale. So yes, my hope and aspirations, at least for the finale, is, hey, clearly the viewership, I think I saw on Twitter, like, the viewership has, for each iteration, each consecutive episode, has, like, exponentially increased each time. So my hope with that in mind, obviously, hopefully we'll, you know, get people to play the game. But also with that in mind, maybe, you know, I'm gonna predict, I think we might at least, I think we'll probably get an announcement, like a little trailer for either The Last of Us Part 3 or the multiplayer for Last of Us. Damn it. It was in my head too. The Last of Us something. What was it called? think it's factions. Yeah, I think it's factions. So yeah, The Last of Us factions, whatever that is. I know it's something multiplayer based that is separate from anything The Last of Us, but it is, I guess, maybe possibly gonna tie in, but maybe we might get a little trailer for, presumably a lot of the fans of the video game watching this, and at least new fans that maybe might spark their interest more. Like, oh, what was that? Huh? So that'd be cool. I think that'd be a nice little, little nod, little send off to get people who like, oh man, Last was so good. I want more. And then, hey, you want more? Hey, you could play the game. PC version about to come out this month, and so that'd be cool. That would be my hopes for the finale. I just, in terms of if it will deviate from the game, I don't know. I'm definitely, I feel on the fence. I could see it going both ways. A part of me thinks that what happens to Marlene won't happen to Marlene in the TV series. I think they potentially maybe might play with that more. I'm guessing. That's my suspicion. Because I feel like for TV purposes, that might just be too good to just resolve. I think for TV purposes, they might milk that out a bit. But yeah, I think at least the major points might still happen. That's my guess. Yeah, that's my guess. I'd be surprised. But that's the thing I love about, as somebody who watched the game and is watching this show, is that like, it could totally not be what you and are anticipating. It could be, they could make a subtle enough change or a drastic change, and at least it makes sense for TV purposes, and who knows. So that's the fun. I'm very much enjoying the show. Definitely, in my opinion, definitely one of the best TV video game adaptations for sure to date, in my opinion. Definitely. So, hey, I recommend it for people who waiting. I know people, hey, more power to you that wait until the whole season is out and then watch it. Hey, there you go. Almost done. Speaking of almost done, not really. I guess technically, whoever you ask. Attack on Titan. Oh, this is so irritating. Attack on Titan, season 4, part 3, part 2. I'm pretty sure that's that. Just, do you know how dumb that sounds? How like ridiculous that sounds? Attack on Titan, season 4, part 3, part 2, or part 1, I guess. Just the fact that I have to say that is just so infuriating to me. Like, really? See, that's when you just trying to milk something to oblivion at that point. But nonetheless, so we did get a 1 hour special of season 4, part 3, part 1. Which is pretty damn good, boy. Yeah, it was a lot of great things that happened without spoiling, but yeah, some good old Attack on Titan. I was very satisfied, but then, but the downside is like now gonna have to wait, I think, months until we get part 2 of part 3, season 4. Whoever it did. Just did this. Don't do this again. Don't do this again. Cause what is this? What is this? Let's get no parts. Let's just keep it season based. Just keep it within the season. Probably after everything's said and done, they'll probably do that. But still, that's just so That is so ridiculous to me. It really is. But I digress. So yeah, no, it was good. Just have to fucking wait months. Apparently towards the end of the year. And then it will finally be done. Hopefully. At this point, it's like just get it over with. Cause it's like, you know, you trying to wait to get want to get punched in the face. But you know, like, okay, wait. No, wait. Hold. Okay, wait. Like, come on, man. I'm just gonna punch you right now, just out of frustration. I digress. Attack on Titan, man. Man. This came out in 10 years. The course of this thing has been ongoing for 10 years, a damn decade. That's so bizarre, crazy to me. Just milking it. Nonetheless, with that being said, that will conclude episode 170 of Switch's Sights. If you did like the show, feel free to like, rate, subscribe, various podcasting platforms, and YouTube. Of course, you can catch me record this live on Twitch TV/aswitch. You can also catch the archives on youtube.com/aswitch as well. Until next time, y'all, I'm gonna play this demo, get that in. Feel free to fuck. Get your damn game on. Yeah.
Nobody's safe.